All right, welcome back. Style of play, football. Myself, Theo, Kojo. What you saying? How's things, man?
Yeah, 3 point collectors this weekend, so I'm okay. How are you?
See me sloping away from the mic there already. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain. Um, yeah, I'm good, man. I can't complain. It is what it is. I'm here. I'm here to take abuse. Nah, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. Well, nah, I'm good, man. But for anyone who's new here, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you get involved. You, like the videos, all of that stuff, man. We appreciate it. But I want to start very quickly. We're going to try and run through as many Premier League results from this weekend. Uh, let's start with the Man City Chelsea game because obviously we were talking about that in the group chat and whatever else. And 3-1 Man City turn things around as they can do. Chelsea were just not at it and haven't been at it. I think it's 1 win in 7 in their last 7 games now. So what do you think's gone wrong for Chelsea? And yeah, there's a lot to kind of unpick, but let's not stick on that too long. But what do you think's gone wrong for Chelsea in that game? You're 1-0 up. Is it just a case they didn't capitalise when they should have done, or is it just the quality that City have in them?
Nah, it's two things. You didn't capitalize on the chances that you had, but more so, you gifted them goals, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially the second one. You know me. I try to not pinpoint losses on an individual, but
Go for it, man.
Robert Sanchez, man. You know what it is? I'm looking up because I can see it again. I'm just looking at the wall. I can see him running to no man's land.
Bro, he's still running now, and it's Monday.
Like, I just don't understand what made him think that was a good idea. And I've watched it over and again. 'Cause I'm thinking, is it a thing where he's assessed that maybe he's thinking Trevor Chalobah has already been beaten, so maybe I have to try and close down the angle. But no, he's still there. Like, how long did they put him on the floor at some point? But he hasn't completely left him in the dust. He can still recover somewhat. Just position yourself and try and make yourself as big as possible. If he scores a much harder chance, then so be it. But you've gifted it to him, and when it went in, look at how the celebration. He
He's
walked and he was
embarrassed.
smiling he was looking at a smile, looking and smiling at the crowd like,
I can't believe
what
that.
the hell is what's this guy doing? Honestly, you gifted. That's how I feel like the game was. I think you gifted them goals, and I think the naivety for their third goal. Obviously, yeah, you're chasing the game. You got to go forward. I was obviously saying to you that I think maybe hold back a little bit because the thing is, I know you're chasing the game, you're trying to get a result, but a team like City don't sit back. They always try and create chances. So you try and hit them on the counter, still a bit of time to go in the game. And that's where I was thinking, I felt like it's a bit naive to push that far forward. And yeah, well, you saw the goal. You know how it goes from there. Basically, a one-on-one from near enough to halfway line. It's comical for me. So yeah, but
No, I agree with you 100%. I think I still think Maresca's still very naive in thinking that he can churn out results by putting out the same squad that clearly isn't playing the best way that they can. And I think when you look at the likes of Sanchez, you look at Nicholas Jackson, you look at Cole Palmer. Sometimes if these players aren't playing well, then you have to take them out of the team. Cole Palmer's not had a good game now for 3-4 games. He's been ineffective. I still think he's because he's playing as a 10. I still essentially put him as the right side of the attack and then put Nkunku as the 10. We haven't tried that yet.
right.
To me, that's the thing that if you're trying to utilize Nkunku, who when he comes on, remember his confidence is going to be in the gutter. It's going to be in the ground. He's been told many times that you're probably going to get a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. To bring him on half an hour into a game that theoretically we weren't going to win at that point was shocking from Maresca. But like we spoke about in the group chat, man, for me, Nicholas Jackson is not the striker that we need to be at this level. Right now, Nicholas Jackson is not the striker, and that's not because he didn't take his chance on Saturday. The pass was, I mean, two things can be wrong at the same time. The pass from Cole Palmer was 100% wrong, but for me, as a striker, you have to do better in that situation. That's all I'm going to say on that. I just think you have to do better. Now you do. For me, there's options like okay, if you're not going to take the shot on, compose yourself in front of goal, look who's around, assist someone else then. That's all
Thing
I'm going to
is,
say.
I think in that instance, when you're talking about the control the ball and find another teammate, I think he did make the right choice. Where my issue is I think he took too long in releasing it.
Yeah, that's
So
all.
he's
He
taking
does that all the time.
and Exactly. That's the point. That's the point, and that's why I agree. I didn't argue when you were talking to Damien yesterday. I didn't get involved with the whole he's not the guy type thing because I actually agree. He's not the guy. He's not
He's
the
not
guy
the guy,
to
man.
you know
He might
help
be
him
though.
lead
He
towards.
might be one day. I just don't think he's there yet at that level to be consistently playing.
He might be one day, but some
He's,
players you look at them, I just don't
you
think they
just
will
know.
be long term.
You just know.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
forget, I watch
No,
this guy week in, week out. I've watched him week in, week out nearly for 2 seasons. I'm telling you this, you can see improvements in a player and he's not got that in him. He doesn't show enough consistently. He doesn't show enough consistently to be playing the way he does. But look, the pass was bad. The pass was poor. But if you look back, if you watch Nicholas Jackson a lot, you'll notice he hardly uses his left foot anyway. So he's always going to try and bring it onto his right foot. But for me, as a top striker, even if you miss or the goalkeeper saves it or it goes into row Z, I don't care. I'd rather it go into row Z than you just stumble and fumble and you're not sure what you're doing. So, and he does it consistently too many times. So yeah, let's not talk about this isolated incident, but I want to talk about him in a longer when we've got more time
yeah.
because there's a lot I think we need to unpick, and I want Damon here for that one as well. I want Damon to get his
Yes.
face on the screen and talk up the things he was talking yesterday. Tried to rile man up, it never worked, but all right, we'll see. Let's go to Manchester United, Fulham yesterday, 1-0. It was a game that I just didn't know if and when that goal was coming. It just kind of felt like the game was just.
It was a bad game. It was a
It
bad
was
game
a
of
poor
football.
game, man. But what's your? I mean,
Bad
it was
game of
Martinez good goal, good bit of play, gets the 3 points. It was impressive in the end. You take 3 points at Fulham at that point.
Oh yeah, you need to get your leverage where you can. Funny enough, we haven't. I think we keep beating Fulham at their ground, which is funny enough when you keep talking about the last couple of seasons, our record against them, no matter our form. So no, it's a win that was needed. We had up to that point, I think we had 4 shots and not one of them was on target. So when Martinez pulled the trigger, I was very happy because sometimes you just gotta just go for it, man. You know what I mean? You just gotta say, you know what, I'm here. I'm just gonna try and smack it, see what happens. And he got a deflection, but that's what happens when you take your luck in it. You take your chances. You know, you need that bit of luck. I keep saying it every week. Luck football is it's a luck game, and yeah, we needed that. So overall, it was a poor game. But what I will say is, once we got the goal, you could see that we were a lot more confident on the ball.
Yeah,
And we had a goal that was disallowed for offside. I can't lie, I don't think it was because the line you
the
couldn't even see
lines
the
were
line.
mad. Them
Oh, you couldn't even see the line that they put on Ahmad. Like, you could see it from his shoulder, but it blended in. So I was like, really? That means it's kind of, but whatever, sure. Yeah.
and I
So
needed that
whatever
goal as well, like for obviously betting
for
purposes. But
points.
I needed that goal.
Exactly. Oh, for better. I was talking about FPL for a second. I was like, oh, was he on your team? But no, yeah, no, I was still happy with the win and the fact that I could see that they were starting to build. What I will say is, I think Amarim in the subs that he made, particularly with Koya and Menu, I think he's starting to show the kind of ideas he has going forward. I don't think Menu is going to be playing a 6 or an 8 again. I think he's going to be playing a 10 because the way he was linking up with Ahmad, you could tell that Amarim was very happy with that. It wasn't the goal that made him, even when the goal was cancelled out, he was still smiling at them. Like, yeah, we need more of that. So you see that, which means Bruno will be dropping back a bit more of Ugarte, and that works better than it
Yeah.
has with other partnerships in week as a week. So, yeah, other than that, yeah, dead game. But yeah, you take the points, man. We need to start collecting points. So, yeah, I'm happy.
And it brings you up to 12th in the league, 29 points.
Hey,
No, not even to take not even a banter thing as well, because I still think that
I'm,
Europe. I still think Conference League or even Europa is still on the cards for United. It's going to be a hard slog, but it's still now. It's not. I mean that kind of needs to be worked on now. The consistency needs to start working on. Crystal Palace next in the league, Tottenham, Everton, Ipswich, Arsenal, Leicester coming up in February, March as well.
yeah,
So some really tough games that. Yes, on paper you'd say United will go out and win, but as you've seen this season, there's a lot of inconsistencies with, results going crazy one way, and then the other week they're churning out results. So it can go in any way. But no, I thought really impressive by United. Like I said, the game itself overall was a bit disappointing, but I think from a United fan perspective, you take the 3 points and you just move on to the next one. But you did call this one. You did call this game, Bournemouth Forest. You did call
Boy,
it. You did call it, man. You was right there with it, man. It was a result I did not see coming. I think we said 12 players out for Bournemouth. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi was only the real absentee for Forest, but for Bournemouth, is top four on? Are they the dark horses to get top four this season?
see, the thing is, the way they're popping teams right now, and it's not luck.
No, it's not. It's
They're
not. It's
looking
not.
good. They're looking good, man. Poof, boy. It might be one of those years where they surprise a lot of teams and even fifth will be fantastic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're in
Even
great
Conference
form this
League. I know
season.
we look over it, but Conference League for Bournemouth, and that's a big thing for them. It surely is.
Coming a long way, and it speaks volumes about the recruitment that they do. The like, cause obviously, like, I mean, Nelson has not scored the amount of goals that Dominic Solanke scored last year, but
Yeah.
he still played a vital part in how they play, how they build up, how they create chances. And he's got players like Kluivert, Justin Kluivert,
Yeah. Semenyo.
obviously Semenyo, especially with Kluivert, because by name there's a lot of pressure on him. Obviously, we know who his father is, but you know he's starting to find his ability, his form. He's starting to find his confidence, and he's scoring hat tricks. He's just looking good. It's interesting, man. Areola is a top coach. He's a top coach. I'm saying that with my chest now. He's a top coach. Honestly, he's one of the best. He's one of the best five we have in this league, in my opinion. Now, and yeah, more power to him, man. He's a brilliant coach, and you can see it in their football as well. And even that centre back they've got as well. Is it Hoyson? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Boy, just
A lot of clubs are after him. Apparently, he's got like if I'm him though, and they do get into the top four, I think he's got to
I
stay there.
stay.
I think he's got to
Yeah,
stay there and
exactly.
see it out. I don't think anyone in that Bournemouth squad would want to leave next season if they do make top four. They make Europa League. I think they're all going to want to stay, and they've got a solid squad. And this is what I say about you could spend all the money in the world, but if you've got the right players and you recruit well, even Forest, you look at them and they got it wrong. They brought in like a whole new squad last season or the season before, but they've got it right now. They've got the balance, and Bournemouth have got the same as well. I really like Kirkes. I know he didn't have the best of games against Forest, but I think he
He's
goes
really
on.
good.
He's really really good, and I think he goes a bit unnoticed because we talk about like the Cucureas and we talk about Anthony Robinson's, but Kirkes as well is up there as one of the best left back or left sided defenders for me this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you're talking on players that came because they're going to be raided this summer. Whether they lose these players is a different question, but certainly they're going to be having to field a lot of bids and see what happens. I'm taking maximum money from these guys, and the reason I say that is because right now I feel like top centre backs are a dime a dozen. They're very hard to
Yeah,
find,
yeah,
and you can find some good left backs, but someone that has the electricity, the ability to withstand heavy games in terms of not only defensively but attackingly, stamina, controlling the pace. Kirk is doing that. The Newcastle game, there's a highlight they showed where he looks knackered. Just before his goal, he's holding his knees whilst the ball's on the other side of the pitch and knocking the ball around. Then he saw the opportunity, he said he's off. Players like that are hard to find these days, man. So if I'm Bournemouth, I'm taking maximum profit. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think if you're those two, looking at how the season ends, even if they go now and have inconsistent form, I would remain at the club, continue to develop. You're at the right place, the right manager, the right system. You can't
yeah.
lose. You can't
Yeah,
lose.
no, 100%, 100%. Now, obviously, Forest, it was Nuno's 51st birthday and got spanked 5-0. I still think Forest will be okay. I think they'll be okay this season. I think this result was probably always on the cards. And I didn't know when it was going to come, but, they've been in great form this season. And I just thought at some point, this would be a big test, I think, for Nuno and the Forest players now, because to get spanked 5-0 or to lose is one thing, but to get spanked 5-0 is another thing. So it will question how they bounce back. Can they bounce back? Can they continue that momentum they had before the defeat and then continue with hopefully pushing for their Champions League spot as well?
Yeah, no, facts, and just we'll see how they manage with that in the next game. Because I think if I'm Nuno, I just say, look, we've been in good form. You know where we are. Brush this one off. We'll look at where we made errors and we'll correct them going to the next game. And let's get points back on the board. Simple as that. Sometimes this happens. I used to say it on free midfield. Every team is due a smacking. You never know when it comes,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
when it
of
comes,
course.
you get smacked and
Of
dealt with
course.
well. just bounce back the next week. It is what it
Yeah,
is, man. You got to move on.
they
Got to
got
move on.
to, man. They got to. Let's go to Wolves Arsenal, because there was obviously a lot of talk about the red card in that game as well.
Boy.
1-0. It was a 1-0. I don't know if you got to see Declan Rice's post. He put some like on his Instagram, against all odds. Bro, he was playing against 10 men. It was 10 men. What do you mean against all odds? What are you talking about? You had 11 men for the best part of the game. The Wolves, João Gomez got sent off at 70 minutes. What do you mean? What are you talking about? It's 10v10.
So see, the thing about this Arsenal thing is, look, Arsenal, and fair play to them, they've been able to drop a list since I think 2021 of many different decisions that have gone against them that are bogus, and fair play. But the thing is, there are so many clubs that can do this
Yeah, of
and
course. Come on.
shout about conspiracy. I
Every
think it was
club can
even
do it.
Brighton. Exactly. I think it was even Brighton 2 seasons ago that didn't get a penalty until like game week 34,
Yeah,
35. Like these things, and they should have had. They should have had one. I remember there was a season where Palace had a lot of decisions in their favour. There's one where Wilfred Zaha got wiped out in the box, and everyone could see it, but somehow the referee said, "No, play on." These things happen. Now, in this game alone, for them to fully believe that there is no reason as to why the referee can give a red card, to me is madness. It's madness. I'm having conversations and they're telling me that the boot scraped his leg before it had the proper intact down there. I'm like, brother, if studs are scraping someone's legs from the top down, it is dangerous. It is dangerous, no matter the context. No, he wasn't last man. I don't care if he was last man or not. It's a dangerous tackle. I think his intention is just to stop the play, a bit of a professional foul, get a yellow card, stop the counter attack, fair play.
Yeah.
But look at the foul,
Yeah, I think
please.
I can see why it was given. Like at the time, I said I can't believe he's given that as a red. But when you watch it
Same.
back, you see the. I'm not going to call it violent conduct because it wasn't that, but it was almost the stud showing impacted why it was a red card and why it was promoted up to a red card. But I think I said to you at the weekend though, I think my thing isn't the fact that it's a red or it's a yellow. That's not for me. It's the inconsistencies of the rest, and we spoke about it on here before. I think I said actually, I think it was Kovacic on Declan Rice. I think.
Yeah, he was a yellow, and he fouled him late. Yeah,
I don't think he
yeah.
even got a yellow for it. I can't remember if he got a
No,
yellow.
he didn't.
I
No,
can't
he
even
didn't.
remember.
He was on yellow already, and that should have been
Okay,
a second yellow.
that should have been a second.
Yeah,
I got you. So
yeah, yeah.
there you go. So it's not that again, that incident is just one incident, but it's the inconsistencies at the refs. Like who scored? Who scored against for Everton? Was it Ndai?
Oh, Ndai.
Ndai.
Yeah.
He scores. He does the eagle celebration, yeah, or the seagull celebration.
And you got
Gets
booked.
booked. Yeah. Phil Foden scored against us against Chelsea and done the gun celebration, the pow pow, no booking.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make sense? One's showing you violence with a gun, and the other one's flapping like a bird. So there's no consistencies with these refs, and these refs are getting away with it week in, week out. And I think that's a lot of fans' frustration. So for me, my anger wasn't towards that one Lewis Skelly red card, because it's a red card when you look at it and you calm down and go, and you're outraged for 5 minutes and you actually watch it properly. It's a red card. It's the inconsistencies for me.
Well, this thing about inconsistency, I try not to use that word because it's true, But the problem we have is because, and it goes across all balls of football, whether it's the handball rule or the offside rule or this, that, and the other, because it's changed all the time, or it's so it can't be interpreted in one way. So
Yeah.
I feel like a referee and whoever's on VAR that day just sort of interprets it their way and they just run with it. So there's no actual like street idea for all referees to say that's not a red card, that's a yellow, or
Yeah, but common
that's not
sense has
yellow,
to come
that's
into that a little bit as well. Like, surely there has to be an element of common sense. A man's doing the eagle
Exactly.
celebration or the seagull celebration. At what point is that? So, because he's riling up the fans a little bit, but that's not a yellow.
But that's
Do you know what I mean?
but that's what I was mentioning about those certain things and not the celebrations, because that one is stupid. Quite frankly, that's stupid. Like I like Jimmy Vardy. I like his arrogance on the pitch.
But he does it all
a
the
guy
time.
who's Exactly. He does it all the time. He loves, even when he scores at home, he goes to antagonize
The
away
away
fans.
fans, yeah.
He does this all the time. All the time. He scored the goal
No
against
yellow
Spurs to
cards.
equalize, points towards the badge of the Premier
Yeah,
League. So we got one, and looks directly at the Spurs
yeah.
fans in their ground and says, "You got zero," and then runs away. You're trying to start a riot. You're trying to start a
No yellow
riot.
card
So
though,
I
right?
don't.
All right, okay.
No, nothing. No,
All
nothing. He's
right,
done it many a time.
all right.
Did he go to? Was it at Brighton as well, where he did the big flapping bird
Yeah,
celebration
he
and
done
nothing
it.
happened?
He's done it before.
Okay,
So my point
okay.
is, there's no. So those things I think outrage me anyway as a football fan. But look, I think at this point, especially in the English game anyway, we just have to accept that the refs aren't going to be consistent. Or I get what you're saying, like not everything can be consistent in football. There are going to have to be times when, but then that goes back to my point about applying common sense as well from a referee perspective. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But quickly before we wrap up, Newcastle, Southampton. Newcastle are slowly doing their business. I know it's Southampton, but Alexander Isak, really good form.
Yeah,
Tonali looks like the player that they signed, if that makes sense. This is the Tonali that they signed Newcastle. He's come back
yeah.
from this ban and he's proved everyone wrong who probably doubted him, but he's come back with a bang, man. But 3-1 Newcastle, Southampton, fair result. Can they get Champions League football? Are they dark horses as well?
It's funny because they should be really called dark horses because they got a really good team that should be trying to challenge for the Champions League
They should.
positions.
Yeah, they should. It's a
They
good
should.
point.
So they have a really good team, but no, I think their sluggish start to the season has held them back. But Isaac has found his form at the right time,
Yeah.
and it's perfect. When you start in January, you've got enough time to wheel back points because teams above you will concede points here and there. So it's very important. And yeah, no, they're doing well. They're doing well. They're a good team. Southampton at this point is 3 points guaranteed, man.
Yeah.
It's 3 points guaranteed. I remember I was cooking when I put that game on, and I saw Southampton score, and I literally went, "You're going to concede anyway." Like, it's just, it's just. I'm sorry to say it for Southampton fans, but they feel the same way. I know they do because they
Yeah.
don't go to games full of
Yeah.
positivity. So yeah, another win on the table for these guys. Yeah, they're doing all right. They're doing all right. They'll be okay. What I will say though, might sound controversial to some people, especially to Newcastle fans, because I don't know how. Well, actually, I don't know how they feel about him. But if they're deadly serious about staying in the Champions League next year, if they make it, they need to upgrade on Eddie Howe and fast. And fast.
I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on that till the end of the season
Okay.
because I do agree with you, but I'd like to know who you think would come in to replace Eddie Howe.
I'll leave that to the next season for you as well.
Because I agree with you, but I'm just thinking who would take the job on to replace him.
I've got 3 names in my mind, but for 2 of them they'd have to be very, very chesty. And when I say chesty, I'm talking go with your chest and say, "I want you.
him.
I'm going to pay compensation." The other one, you can get him because I think he would love to come back to the English game, but
What, Jose?
no.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, that's end of the season. End of the season. See how everyone's situation is, and then I'll run my mouth.
But I mean, not only the manager, I think they have to retain the players as well. For me personally,
Absolutely.
they have to keep Isak. If Newcastle are going to compete, they have to compete. They have to keep Isak at the club. I think even like the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, Tonali, they all, for now, they have to keep that core group of players next season.
I'll put it to you like this: if they win, if they do get into the Champions League, unless actually, if Mourinho will come in, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, unless no, if they get into the Champions League, unless it's the champions of the league that come to you and say we want to sign you, there's no reason for you to go to any other club. Sorry, not Arsenal. If Arsenal, I said if Arsenal, I'll say winning the league. If if
So
Arsenal come to you and say,
if Liverpool come for Isak, he should go.
that's the only place I would. If I'm him, that's the only place I consider. Because if I'm in the Champions League, I don't need to go to another club because I'm in the same competition as you, and I'm competing with you. If Liverpool come and say we're replacing Nunez, and we need another striker because I think Nunez will be sold in a year or two, then that's the only place I'll look at if they're champions. Simple as that. If Arsenal somehow pull it back and become champions, then here are Arsenal. But until then, no, nowhere else.
Yeah, I agree with that actually, to be fair. And I think that's the only destination he will go to. But We didn't talk about Tottenham. We always get away Tottenham on this podcast. We are going to talk about Tottenham again.
I've got 2 minutes.
Go on then. You feel the 2 minutes, man. Because I want to hear what your thoughts are about Ange Postecoglou.
At this point, it's just time to cut the cord, man. Because I read something this morning that rattled my head, and it's a fact as well. There's no fabrication about this. This is pure fact. Tottenham Hotspur have collected less points this whole season than they did in the first 10 games of last season.
Oh, okay.
That is sackable enough. There's no need to see about backing this and backing that. My guy, it's done. It's done. This is someone that said, in my second season, I'll win every trophy. So, in fact, I'll put it to you like this. If they do not make it to the final of the Carabao Cup,
he's got to go. Yeah, he's got to go. Because he put it out there. He put it out there to say that he's going to win a trophy. Now, that's realistically the trophy I'd assume that he was going to be talking about when he said I win something every, my second season. But if Everton have got a game in hand, obviously that game in hand is Liverpool. Now, that's coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's like the 12th of Feb or something like that. Now, if Everton somehow managed to leapfrog Tottenham in the league, listen, and they go at the cup as well. If Tottenham go at the cup, then I think they have to
cut it.
They have to, but he's not the problem. We're going to talk about him. We're going to do another segment on Tottenham. He's not the problem, Ange, I don't think. I think it's upstairs. I think the problems are deeper rooted upstairs, and I think that is the problem for Spurs. That you could bring, I was going to say, you could bring in a top manager. They've done that. They brought in Conte. They brought in Jose. So I don't think he's just the issue, but I think he's also stubborn. So he's part of the problem because he's very stubborn in his tactics. He doesn't change. We could go on. We could go on about that, but yeah, there wasn't really many other games. Aston Villa, West Ham 1-1. Crystal Palace lost to Brentford 2-1. Liverpool thrashed Ipswich 4-1. So yeah, it was a good weekend of mixed bag of results. But Kojo, as always, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Always, come on.
If you're into anyone who's watching this afterwards, or if you're here, there's a couple of people live now. If you want to talk Chelsea, I'm going over to the Chelsea channel from the Shed End. Make sure you search that. We're going to talk Chelsea over there if you want to listen to me moan about Maresca and Todd Bowley. If not, please make sure you subscribe and like on this video, this channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments as well. And also the audio version of the podcast is available on Apple Pie. I'm hungry, obviously. Apple and Spotify podcasts. So make sure you go over there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon.